God damn it. Hello, my name is host Eric, host of Talking with Famous People, and tonight I'd like to talk about the different ways in which people process the logics of communications, namely the way people talk to one another and what they intend language to do primarily, and what that is purposed for. So, there's a number of different purposes that people can use language for on a really detailed level, but on a broader level, there are a set number. People communicate for the purpose of extroverted feeling reasons, namely to convince others of a certain status or um, level of accomplishment or something like that. So, Kitty, can you get down, please? Thank you. Some people use it for FI reasons, some people use it for TE reasons, TA reasons, whatever. But the point is, regardless, we all have to talk in basically a TI grammar. So this makes it challenging for native TI users and non-native TI users to communicate a lot of times. In the TI grammar of communication, when people say things, they mean certain words and they do so for certain purposes. Now, one of the things that I run afoul with recently with Neptune and Spacey and Courtney as well, and to a much lesser extent Jordan, uh, is this phenomenon that they insist that because of the way that I want to pin them down on what they mean, that I am somehow uh, I'm somehow missing the point, that I'm doing something wrong argumentationally, intellectually, or just not being fair in my reasoning. Okay, so remember that there's two issues to talk about here. One is intention of the person speaking, and the other is the mechanics of what the person is saying. And one big mistake that a lot of people make is to think that the intention of the person speaking necessarily means they're attached to either the outcome or to a specific argument within the argumentation scheme. It could be and should be, for all good meta-rationals, that you're attached to the process. That what matters is that everybody plays fair. So it may be true that a given individual likes to win something or not. Probably, most of the time, if I'm winning an argument these days, it's pretty frustrating because I'm not arbitrarily entering into arguments most of the time. Most of the time, I'm trying to engage in good conversations. But there are circumstances where individuals feel the need to make a clear statement about having had their feelings hurt. This happens when people are prioritizing the wrong section of the argumentation schema. So, like I said, what you want to be attached to is the integrity of the process, but it's possible to be attached to the outcome and or the lack thereof. So a lot of people are attached to the idea that the process is what we're attached to, but it's a process to make sure everybody feels good, or everybody feels heard, or everybody feels understood. Yeah. But those are all ways of saying feelings and prioritizing feelings over intellect. There are plenty of circumstances in which it's wise to prioritize feelings over intellect. Conversation of this sort, abstract discussion, is not one of them for sure, because then we're doing a disservice to the ideas. And we're doing a disservice to, most of all, the process, which is not okay. That's not okay. We can do all the disservice we want to any of the arguments within the process. We can do all the disservice we want to the winning and losing thing. That's fine. We must remember a couple things. By prioritizing the process, the intention of the individual making the arguments doesn't matter, because his goal is to make sure the process is done correctly, is executed well, it's executed fairly. That's what it mostly means. Reciprocal burdens. So, if you want my words to mean things, so that when you catch me, you got me pinned down, then I'm wrong. Oh, you're right. And you guys remind me of it. Eric, I said you were. You said you were wrong about that. I caught you on that. Yes, you did. and I admitted it right away. If you want to be in conversation with a person and have that conversation be meaningful, then that means your words have specific meanings and not others. Now, one problem that we have with communicating is that FI users in general, they are not bound by the constraints of the law of non-contradiction, because their feelings can be contradictory. You can have bittersweet feelings. You can both love something and hate something at the same time. You can, mixed feelings are kind of the only feelings one ever has, it seems to me. But you might want two things that you can't have both of them. It's possible. Well, do you want to take the left route or the right route? Well, and once you turn to go left, it's like big walls all the way along. So you can't go back for another 10 miles and change the route or something. I don't know. If you want to go left or right, well, you can't have both, no matter if you feel like you'd like to have both or not. So the problem is, we can know that it's nice to want to feel certain things and to have certain things play out. We want to be able to have a rational discourse. We want our words to mean things. We want people to be able to take meaning away from them. But we don't want people to be able to use that meaning in turn to say, actually, this point's not good. And the reason we don't like that is if we are prioritizing the wrong aspects. We're prioritizing either the outcome or the emotion. Now, the reality is, do I like winning? Am I addicted to winning? Maybe in a general sense. Little fights like these are somewhat beneath me, to be perfectly frank. I'm trying to help you because you're indulging in something it's ugly. It is. Like the avoidance, the smarm, the trolling. You're better than that. You don't have to do it. You do have to swallow your pride a bit and acknowledge that you've come in with some awful bad habits, and that's fine. Everybody does. It's just gotta get cleaned up. I've got awful bad habits in plenty of other areas. Not this one, but plenty of other ones. So the moral of the story is, if you want to make a point that is intended to be used for meaning by other people, then it has to mean something specific. If it does mean something specific, then you have to accept that it doesn't mean other specific things. It can't be both, for the purposes of the argument. Now, if you're just throwing out observations for general musings, you say, just a thought, not a claim, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, are fine, safe statements to make. Nobody's going to have any problem with those. When you try to make it about my motivations all the time, as though none of the arguments mattered, well, that's really not cool. And you know better. So, remember, infinite second chances, but there's no reason to be a dick like that.